Well, hello there and welcome back to the channel. Now, as you all know, there are a few things I love more than my FJ Cruiser. Maybe my wife, maybe my kids, but definitely not mom. Now, over the years we've had this FJ Cruiser in a lot of interesting locations. Yeah, we've had a lot of cool spots. Even though I love this FJ immensely, there's one thing that I hate about it, and that is silver. Silver, as we all know, is the worst shade you can get on a car. Nobody likes it. In fact, if you drive a silver car, I'm sure you're incredibly boring. Let's just ask Alligator Man.
My mama told me if you like silver cars, you probably let the dog lick the inside of your mouth. The other time, my mom told me we was down by the swamp. She told me if you drive a silver car, then you're probably talking monotone, and people disapprove your stories and personality as a whole.
That's right, Alligator Man. You know, I've often said that if you like silver, you're probably an incredibly boring person and have no soul. Now let's move on to what we're going to do to this FJ today. We're going to take off all the bits and pieces that you need to remove to wrap it. Now, I'm not going to go into fully wrapping the vehicle and all the tips and tricks to that because there's other videos you can watch on that. What I am going to try and do is remove all the pieces necessary to give your FJ that beautiful wrap. Now, as you can see, it's just stopped raining right after I've washed the vehicle, so now I can finally dry it. The other little piece of information that I would like to give is that I've never fully wrapped a car, ever in my life. This will be the first time. Now, I have wrapped a few hoods and a few rooftops, but this will be my first time wrapping an entire vehicle, so wish me luck. Alright, welcome back. As you can see, we've got quite a bit of distance on the FJ. We're able to wrap up both of these door skins here. Now, to do that, you're going to want to remove your handles, your door lock, and your mirror. And then you can go ahead and wrap those up. You can plastic dip them if you want. I plastic dip mine's black. And then go on from there. Let me show you what you need to do on the front of the FJ to get that wrapped. Now, looking on the front of the FJ, things get a little bit more challenging, a little bit more technical, not too bad. But you got your 3 windshield wipers here that you need to remove, all 3 of those. You also need to remove these little bins or baskets of vents, whatever these things are, and your windshield wiper squirting devices. The nozzles is what they are, the nozzles, they're up front. All that needs to come off, and I think I should be able to wrap that, but if I encounter any problems, I'll let you know. Right quick, let's move on to the vent hood. All of this needs to come off. When you remove your fake vent hood, the only issue is all these buttons are going to pop on you. You're not going to be able to reuse these buttons. And back where I'm from, down here, it's really hard to get these buttons quickly. So make sure you pre-order them. Let's get started. Alright, before we go on with the rest of the wrap, I just want to let everyone know what type of wrap I've used. What I've used is an Avery Denizen. It's a gloss film, and I believe in light blue. Now, I've purchased this wrap from metrorestyling.com here in the United States. It's a great website. The length that I purchased is 30 feet, and it's by 60 inches wide. I think that's going to be enough to cover the FJ, but we'll have to wait and see. All right. So last we left you, we were talking about the front of the wrap, specifically the hood section in this area right here. Now, this area that covers the windshield wipers and these little bins here, these little vents, it's quite difficult to get very far underneath here. So I would recommend maybe doing this in 2 pieces. I did it in 1, but I think an underlayment right here would have been a good idea. I didn't do that and it came out okay. You can see it's quite visible when you shut the hood. Let me get this bonnet shut here, Meg. There it is, nice and tight. There's quite a bit of a gap right here. This gap is maybe ½ an inch, I would say. And so you need to really smooth it down underneath there, or else that horrible silver color will be visible from the outside. All right, so before we go on with the rest of the wrap, let's go to Alligator Man, see how he likes the color.
I love the color blue because it reminds me of my grandpappy's eyes.
Oh, Alligator Man, did your grandpappy have blue eyes too?
No, he had brown eyes. But late in life, he developed a thick coating from the cataracts that covered his eyes.
and in the sunlight, they were a bluish hue. Oh, alligator, man. That's awful. I'm quite sorry to hear that. Anyways, let's get on with the wrap. Alright. Now I wanted to touch on, as we're finishing the FJ up here, I wanted to touch on a few of these plastic pieces here. Now you can remove these pieces if you'd like. They are removable, but for the life of me, I couldn't pop them out. I didn't want to break anything else as far as the buttons go underneath. I was able to wrap them on the car. You don't have to take them off. When you look to the side of the vehicle, take your fender flares off. I kind of made the mistake on one side, not taking the rear off, and trying to work around it was a complete nightmare. Just take them off. They're easy to take off. Take off your front and rear fenders to wrap the side of it properly. Now I do want to talk to you about the rear of the vehicle, so come with me. Oh, that's good. That's good. What is that, Meg?
It's a beer.
Oh, that's good beer. Now, when you're looking at the rear of the vehicle, please take my advice with this one. The rear was the most difficult part for me, but simply for one reason. I didn't remove everything to wrap the back of it. When you wrap the back of your FJ Cruiser, make sure you remove, obviously, your badges, your windshield wiper, your spare tire carrier. There's also bolts back there that you can take off. You can remove this mounting point for your rear windshield wiper. You can probably pop the back panel and take out the keyhole, which I would do. Take everything off. There's loads of cutting back here. You gotta cut tons in this whole area. So make sure you remove as much as possible as to wrap the back of the truck. Now, the FJ is done. Let's take it out front and do the final reveal. All right. So now that the FJ is all wrapped up, everything is done, there's a couple of key points I want to touch on. First of all, the 30 feet of vinyl wrap was more than enough. In fact, I would make sure and purchase 30 feet. I had about 5 feet left over, but I also made tons of mistakes.
Oh man, that looks really bad. That's awful. Okay. Oh, we've got some bubbling right here. It's popping up a bit. I'm not sure why it's doing that. That looks really bad. Terrible. Oh, look at that. See, I buggered that right up right there. There's some silver showing. Well, has a child done this? That looks terrible.
And with these mistakes, you're gonna want a little bit extra just to make sure, in case you completely bum up a panel, that you have enough to replace your error, basically. So here's my bit of advice for any of you out there considering to wrap your FJ. Go practice on your best mate's Land Rover that's broken down in the front of his yard first. You know, that Land Rover no one cares about. It's been broken down for months. He doesn't like it, you don't like it. Go practice on that. If you've never wrapped a vehicle before, don't start on your beloved FJ, which you love more than most things in life. Start on a piece of junk like that. Now, thanks for watching the video. The lovely Meg is going to do a walk around of the truck for the final look. And don't forget to slap the bell and give me a ring-a-ling. And we'll catch you on the next wrap.